Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome back to Developer Maroof. In today's lesson, we'll learn about debugging techniques, the console methods, the debugger statement, breakpoints and DevTools, and the most common JavaScript bugs and how to spot them. So let's start coding. First thing, you will open your HTML file inside the browser with the Go Live extension. You can just install Live extension, Live server, and you can just click Go Live and your app will be opened in the browser. So to open the DevTools, you have to click F12 or you can just right click and click Inspect. So this is our DevTools. These are the tools we can use for debugging. Before telling you how to use them, let me tell you what is debugging. So basically, debugging is the skill of figuring out why your code isn't doing what you expected. The browser already ships with serious debugging tools. We just need to know how to use them. So after opening your DevTools, you can switch to Console tab. This is where all our debugging will happen. So let me write some logs. So there are three flavors of console output. First is log, which is a plain text. As you know, if you have seen our previous lessons, we have used console.log everywhere, and you will use it too in future. So let me write some logs. Let's say console dot. So here's the thing, console provides many methods, assert, clear, and you can just try them and see what the output will it give. I'm just telling you three general methods, which is console.log. Inside that you can put anything. Let me put hello from console.log, our semicolon. Then our second one is console.warn, and inside that you can click this is a warning, and our third one is console.error. Here you can say this is an error. Now you can see this is our console.log result in a plain text. This is our console.warn, which shows the text in a warning like text or box, and this is our console.error, which shows the text as an error. So these both are not common, but you can use them. This is used for warnings, this is used to catch the errors, and so on. Now let me give you another example with a console.table. We will see what will be the result. So let's create users list. Const users equals array bracket. Inside that you can create some users. Let's say name Ollie, age 25, and you can put comma here, and let's duplicate it and change the names. Let's say Sarah, and this is 30. Let's make it 22 and name something Ahmad. Okay, now let's log this console.table and we will print our users. Look at that, the console.table takes an array of objects and render it as proper table columns and rows, and these are sortable 0 1 2. You can also sort them accordingly. This is amazing for debugging data. It is way easier to read than a flat dump of an object. Let me show you some more console methods. The one is group. Let's say console.group, and let's add user info. Let's add log again, name roof, and let's add another log, page 22, and now you can just type console.group end and just keep it like that. Now you see this is a nested console.group. It nests related logs together. You can see here users info, and you can collapse and expand. The related logs are these ones, which are coming in between this group and group end. You can collapse them and expand them. This is also great for cleaning up noisy output. Let me show you another one, console.time, and let's add loop, and below that let's create a for loop. Let I equals 0, semicolon I less than, let's say 100,000, semicolon I plus plus, and just keep it like that. And you can add another log, not log but time end, and you can just put loop here. So this console.time starts a timer with a label. You can see here, this is the label, and console.time end stops the timer and prints how long that block took. You can see this is a loop which runs and stops, and this is the time that how long that loop runs. So this is also useful for spotting slow code without any fancy profiler. So these were the few useful console methods you can use. Let me give you more examples so you can understand better. Let me write a debugger statement. Let's say debugger statement. Let me write a function calculate total. Let's add price in param, quantity, and inside that const subtotal equals price multiply by quantity, and you can add debugger here, and you can create another variable text equals subtotal multiply 0.1, and we can return subtotal plus text. Now if you log this, calculate total, let's add any price, let's say 50, and let's add 3. Now if you save, so let me first tell you about this debugger word. So when DevTool is open, this line pauses the code right here. Let's save, refresh, and you can see this line pauses the code. You can see we have a prompt pause in debugger. If you click here, it can continue. Let me just comment these out. You see, when we refresh, this debugger paused that code, and it is also highlighting debugger. If I click continue, it will continue. If I refresh again, it will pause because this code runs again when I refresh. So when it comes to debugger, it pauses the whole script.js. And you can notice if I come here and refresh again, the page just stopped. The browser jumped to sources tab and highlighted the exact line. Now I can hover over any variable, hover on price, you can see. So this is also very useful. Every variable's current value just by hovering, and you can click F10 in Windows to the next line, or you can just click here and hover over it. If you are in Mac, you can just press Fn and with it F10. So this switches to the next line, and you can also see the price by hovering over any variable. If you click again F10, it will switch to next line, and you can see now the text as well. So in real projects, you don't write debugger in your code, you use breakpoints in the source tab. Same effect, no code change, click any line number and a blue marker will appear. If I refresh again, you can click any line number. So no debugger keyword needed. If you remove it, and it will remove the breakpoint. You continue, refresh. So this is what most professional debugging actually looks like. If you click here, it will remove the breakpoint, and resume execution will be with F8. If you click F8, it will resume the execution. So that's it for debugger statement. Let's comment it out. Now let me show you type of null quick. Let's add some logs. Let's say log, and you can just type here type of and then hello, and just duplicate it, and let's have a number, say 42. Let's have a undefined, let's have null. So you can look at the output. String type is a string, and we put 42, which is a number, so its type is number, and undefined is equals to undefined, and this null equals to an object. So all expected, but type of null returns an object. That's a famous quirk from the language early days that they never fixed. So if you want to check for null, never use type of, always compare directly with triple equals null. Let me show you some more examples. Let's comment it out, and let's create a variable, let x log, let's print x, then let y equals null. Let's add a log y. Now you can see we got undefined and null. So this undefined means a variable exists but was never assigned. You can see we didn't assign any value here, we just declared it. And null means we intentionally set it to empty, some nothingness on the surface. Undefined is JavaScript saying I don't have a value here. Null is you saying I have no value here on purpose. So that's the difference. Now let me show you some other bugs, var versus let. So let me create two loops with var and let. Let's say for var I equals 0, semicolon, then I less than 3, then I plus plus. Inside these curly braces, you can add set timeout, and this is function which takes a callback function, and you can add log. Let's say var I colon, and then I. Let's remove this, and then you can put 1 millisecond, and let's duplicate it and just put here let. Let's also convert it to J and put here let and make it 200 milliseconds. Now if I refresh, you can see var loop prints 3, 3, 3, the same final value 3 times, and the let loop prints 0, 1, 2. This is the classic var bug. Var is function scoped, so there's only one I variable, and by the time set timeout callback finally runs, it has already finished at 3. And let is a blocked scope, so each iteration gets its own J. Always use let or const in loops and never use var. So that's it for today's lesson. Let me just give you quick debugging tips. Just 3 more tips that will save you hours. Number 1, read errors messages carefully. Chrome tells you the error type, the message, and the exact file and line number. Don't skip over them. And number 2, use the network tab when you fetch calls aren't working. You see every request, its status code, its response data, its timing, and etc. You can see here there are many tabs. Most API bugs solve themselves the moment you open the network tab. And number 3, when you stuck drop console.log statement right before and right after the suspicious code to narrow down where the bug is. It's not fancy, but it's how most professional debugging actually happens. So that's it for today's lesson. You just learned about debugging techniques, the console family of methods, the debugger statement, real breakpoints and DevTools, the type of null quick, the var loop trap, and quick tips. In the next lesson, we will learn about performance tips in JavaScript. If this helped you, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone learning JavaScript. Jazakallahu khair for watching. Allah Hafiz.